A bigger baller than Caitlin Clark.
I said it. Yeah.
I said it.
Cam Newton just stirred the pot, claiming Gugu Watkins is a better athlete than Caitlin Clark, and Stephanie White wasn't having any of it. In a world where hot takes fly faster than jump shots, this one missed the mark. The second Cam's words hit the air, the internet exploded like a playoff scoreboard. Then came Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, calm, focused, and ready to shut down the noise.
And it has nothing to do with black and white, but the statistics say what everybody needs to be knowing.
Yeah.
Juju is a better athlete than Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
But this isn't just about Cam Newton running his mouth or a former MVP making a bad comparison. This is truth versus agenda, leadership versus loudness, and facts versus flash. We're breaking it all down, what Cam said, Stephanie White's exact clapback, and how Caitlin Clark and the Fever are shutting down narratives while lighting up the WNBA. This story has receipts, rivalries, and a serious reality check. Let's talk about how Stephanie White just owned the moment and reminded everyone who really runs the court. When Cam Newton speaks, people listen. He's a former NFL MVP, a Heisman winner, and a quarterback who carried teams on his back. But having a big platform means your words can carry more weight than you realize, and this time Cam fumbled.
Rivalries always equates to ratings.
Yeah.
There's more rivalries in men's sports. That's why the ratings are high. See, the thing about Juju, the thing about Paige is, it's not saying this is bad, but they're good girls.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark was a good girl.
The comment that set off the firestorm came during an episode of the 4th and 1 podcast. Cam Newton, casually leaning into one of the most unnecessary comparisons in women's basketball, confidently declared that Juju Watkins was a better athlete than Caitlin Clark. But he didn't stop there, he doubled down. He brought up race, he framed it as bad girl energy versus good girl branding, and just like that, a simple sports take turned into a cultural debate. Let's be clear, praising Juju Watkins isn't the issue. She's a dominant force, a sophomore at USC putting up elite numbers and proving she's a future superstar. Nobody questions her talent. She's box office. But here's where Cam went wrong. He didn't just hype up Juju. He did it by downplaying Caitlin Clark, a generational talent, with no real argument beyond his own perception. Newton claimed Juju isn't being pushed like Clark because she doesn't have a rival, framing Clark as the good girl, while players like Angel Reese embrace the bad girl image. He even suggested Clark's rise was media engineered, while Juju's attention was somehow being suppressed. Here's the problem, every part of that take collapses when you look at the actual numbers.
I do believe Paige and Juju needs nemesis. They need somebody that will rival them.
Yeah.
To build up the anticipation. Because last year,
That was it. It was like, bro, head to head.
Iowa and South Carolina, LSU and Iowa, LSU and South Carolina, like those were like moments and times where it's like, oh shit, I ain't
Especially
never really
LSU
seen
and Iowa,
sports
boy.
like that.
Yeah.
But thanks to the Caitlin Clarks of the world to have the skill set to match the anticipation of like,
And
yo,
Angel
she gonna
Reese.
drop 30.
Yeah.
Juju is also in that wave and that cloth that like I can drop 30.
Caitlin Clark's sophomore year at Iowa was nothing short of historic. She led the entire NCAA in both points and assists per game, averaging 27.0 points, 8.0 assists, and 7.1 rebounds. Looking for volume? She had it. Looking for efficiency? She shot 45.2% from the field, 33.2% from three, and 85% from the free throw line. No fluff, no media tricks, just pure domination. And let's be real, her major national attention didn't even take off until her junior year, when her deep tournament run, flashy passes, logo threes, and the viral "you can't see me" moment all hit at once. She didn't walk into college basketball with cameras in her face. She earned them by putting up video game numbers in real games. Now, let's talk about Juju Watkins. Again, this is not a knock on Juju. She's averaging 27.1 points and 7.2 rebounds as a sophomore, which is incredible. She's also doing it at USC, a massive market with Hollywood press just down the street. And guess what? She's getting plenty of coverage. ESPN highlights, she's all over them. Social media buzz? Nonstop. Endorsement interest? Absolutely. There is no media blackout happening here. In fact, multiple sports analysts have pointed out that Juju has received more media attention as a sophomore than Caitlin did at the same point in her career. That's not speculation, it's fact. Yet, Cam pushed a narrative built for conflict instead of one based on actual basketball performance. And then came the racial undertones. Cam claimed his comment had nothing to do with race, right after bringing up race multiple times. That's a rhetorical trap. You don't get to frame the debate around cultural stereotypes, acknowledge racial tension, and then say, but it's not about race. By that point, you've already made it about race. And fans noticed. Social media erupted, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, comment sections everywhere calling out the contradiction. Not because people hate Cam Newton, but because his argument fell apart under its own weight.
I think the greatest thing is just, for me, having been a part of the WNBA for 25 years, having worked on both sides of it in the media and in the coaching realm, and being a player in this league as well. I mean, this is the moment that we've been waiting for. So I don't know if you prepare for it as much as you just embrace it, embrace where we are. Think about the momentum moving forward, where we wanted this league to be and where we still aspire for it to go, and just embrace this moment, embrace this opportunity, continue to help this team, this franchise be better, position ourselves for success.
Stephanie White's leadership silences the noisy Cam Newton may have thrown the first punch, but Stephanie White didn't need to fight back with aggression. She did it with clarity. No insults, no drama, just leadership. And in a world full of hot takes, that kind of response hits the hardest. When White addressed Caitlin Clark, she didn't just hype her up, she laid out the facts. Clark, she said, has an unbelievable basketball IQ and has adjusted to the WNBA faster than most rookies. Coming from a coach with experience at both the college and pro levels, that kind of praise isn't given lightly. If White says a player is built different, believe it. But what really stood out? Her focus on leadership. White made it clear. Clark isn't just about scoring points. She's a future leader. That means guiding teammates, stepping up in big moments, and setting the tone in the locker room, not by being the loudest voice, but by being the steadiest presence. That's the real difference between White's take and Cam's. Cam framed Clark's rise as media-driven, fueled by branding and rivalries. White shut that down immediately, not by attacking, but by speaking the truth. Clark's success isn't the result of marketing. It's the result of skill, preparation, and showing up game after game. What's really happening in the Fever locker room? Now, let's talk about the culture White is building, because it's the exact opposite of the drama some are pushing. Lexi Hull, one of Clark's teammates, completely dismissed the idea of tension. She called Clark a leader, someone who lifts teammates up, cracks jokes when things get intense, and always puts the team first. Erica Wheeler backed that up, describing practices with laughs, good vibes, and chemistry. Her words, "All we do is have fun with Caitlin." These aren't scripted PR statements, they're real-time reports from the locker room. Meanwhile, outside the team, voices like Cheryl Swoops are pushing narratives about tension and friction, stories that just don't match reality. So why do these narratives keep popping up? Because drama sells. Comparing Clark to other players, suggesting divides, hinting at race, it all drives engagement. But it doesn't tell the truth. The Fever are building something bigger this season. The Fever's rise wasn't random, it wasn't luck. Ratings are up, ticket sales are up, WNBA jerseys are flying off the shelves. The Fever aren't just a team getting attention because of Clark, they're a team playing great basketball. They move the ball, trust each other, and play like a unit. That's not a media strategy, it's team identity. And let's be real, Clark isn't perfect. She's had off nights, she's missed shots. She's faced pressure like no rookie in years. But through it all, her teammates haven't turned on her, they've backed her up. That's culture. That's chemistry, and no hot take can fake that. The bottom line, Cam Newton fired off a take that didn't age well. Stephanie White responded with leadership, facts, and composure. This isn't about tearing anyone down. It's about elevating the truth. Now, what's your take? Do you agree with Stephanie White? Was Cam Newton way off base? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more real basketball breakdowns, no fluff analysis, and player-first storytelling, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The WNBA is heating up, and we're just getting started. Let's run it.